Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday, October 18th, 2020. Is that the right year? Yeah. 2020. I am here to do readings again tonight. This is Sunday. It's 8:30 Eastern time all the time. We're currently in daylight savings. We will soon be switching over to standard time. I am not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. As always, all readings and divinations are for the purposes of entertainment only in accordance with the law. And that is because there are things called fortune teller laws. So if anybody asks, that's why I say that. Though technically, because I'm a spiritualist reverend, I am under the auspice of my religion practicing these readings. It is a part of our religious belief. So there's that as well. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody has had a good week. It felt like crazy energy for me, but I got to vote. I was so excited because, not to throw my husband under the bus, but he spilled water on my ballot. I had it all filled out and ready to go. I just hadn't had a chance to run by the ballot drop box, which is near our house. And so I went down to the county clerk's office on Friday. I trucked down there into Newark, and they said parking would be difficult, but it wasn't. There was like street parking everywhere. It was fine. I went in there and I waited for my second ballot to be delivered or they printed up. And then I filled it out. I was all really excited. And as I was walking out, there was a woman next to me. And I said, I don't know about you, but I was so excited to vote today. I really think it's important to vote. I really think it's important. I, of course, went blue all the way, but you know me. It's not because I'm normally an independent, but I really do believe it's time for a change, and it is not any other direction. Anyhow, I think it's important, regardless of who you vote for, it is important to get out and vote, not just for presidents and senators, but for your local elections too, because they really do make a difference in your world. So go out and vote. That's my little spiel. Another thing I want to say tonight is hello, Devry. I hope you're here. Tomorrow is your birthday, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Devry. Happy birthday to you. I hope that your next turn around the sun is a beautiful one, and that only good and loving and wonderful things come to you, and an abundance of every blessing that you could imagine befall upon you. So send her some loving, happy energy. And that's that. Hi, Christy. Highway 138. These are paid readings now. Did you do the $5? And 30% goes to charity. I need to go back and figure out how much I've given, how much we've donated over the last couple of weeks, and I will let you guys know on the next session where we're at and how many, because this is so crazy to me, but $1 makes or is enough to donate for 3 meals through this thing. So it's it doesn't take much, and we can make a big difference. So that makes me excited. Really, Sherry? That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. So the one thing that I love is that people come back and they give me validations. They write them in the comment sections of the videos and everything like that. So Starry Sky had a validation and said, I kept talking about the pressure in my eye from her surgery. I was like, the pressure's up, the pressure's up. And in the last video, she validated that she ended up having to go back to the doctor. And in fact, which I'm not happy about the pressure being up in her eye, but I'm glad she listened to her body and went and got it checked out. But it was, in fact, the pressure was elevated in her eye. She got drops, and hopefully those are working for you, and it's creating healing for you. Okay, so I don't have super chat because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, Leon. So we make do the way we can when we don't have those things. Happy Sunday, Regine. Lauren, you sent in a PayPal, so I'll go ahead and check that in a minute. So Christy, what you guys do is you go to the PayPal, and make sure that the last name on there says Schwartz, because sometimes if the MSF doesn't connect with the Annalisa, then some other Annalisa gets your $5 and she doesn't give it back. And that's the truth, because she gets it as a friend. So for some reason, I'm a money angel for her, I guess, if it doesn't hook right way. So you did. Okay, I'll check. Give me a second, Highway 138. Hi, Rochelle. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't have Cash App. I do have Venmo. If you wanted to Venmo me, that's fine. I'll take the Venmo. I try to do PayPal because I feel like it gives you guys a little bit of recourse, like if I don't show up for my appointment, but I always show up for my appointments. Here is my Venmo. But the PayPal is easier for me because I go back and forth. So anyway, that's all that. Okay, so let's see who we've got on PayPal. We'll add to the list, and then I will start the questions. We're starting off with Cindy, Sandra L, and Starry Sky. And we will add, so KK to the bottom of the list, which is Highway 138. Let me write that in there. So we'll add under Sherry, Highway 138. Lauren, Leon, and Christy. All right, so let's get started. Hi, Am. It's good to see you. I will not. Okay. Sure. No longer involvement with John. Good for you for making that decision. I see this a lot, and I'll say this to people, where someone will come for me for readings. I've had someone for over years where she was asking me about this guy, and I kept saying, like, I just don't really feel like this is the one. This isn't going, like, it's just not. But ultimately, it's your decision. I will never tell you you should, you shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. But if you stay on this path, I don't see it working out. And Sandy's had a little bit of Sandra, sorry, has had a little bit of a rough go with John. And so I'm happy for you that you're making the decision to move beyond it. Not because I want you to hurt or anything, but it's always nice to finally feel empowered and, make the decision for what's in our, like for our highest good, best interest kind of thing. Hi, Dulcie. See, Dulcie's been around, so Dulcie knows. Okay, so let's see what's next coming up for you in your relationships. I will tell you that I do feel like you're going to be dating somebody new, meeting somebody new in the next 2 to 3 months. I want to put it closer to the 3-month mark, but like they said it, but it falls flat. It just doesn't meet expectations. It's not quite there, but it's something that occupies you for a little bit of time, but it's not like the one. Interesting. This is one where they said the one comes back around again, but it's not John. So I feel like this is somebody from the past. And I don't know that it's somebody that you've been romantically involved with, but somebody from the past comes back into your life and breathes a bit of fresh air into your life. They said it's when you finally decide that you're worth putting yourself first. So like with John, he was never truly available. He never really made you a priority, or the relationship a priority. We've talked about when somebody else is, when other things are going on and there's other distractions. Excuse me. I haven't been doing this. Do you have a tickle in your throat? I don't know why that's coming up for me. But when someone doesn't make you a priority, it's usually that you think that you're not worth being made a priority, or you don't value. Some of this is subconscious too. So don't think that I'm saying like, oh, you're not kind to yourself, or there's a lot of subconscious things that we do. In fact, what is it, like 90% of our life is subconscious, or 95, something like crazy. Um, it just feels like there's going to be this one at 2 to 3 months, and then one further down the line. Um, that's again somebody coming back into your life, and I don't necessarily know that this is somebody that you've actually been again romantically involved with. I feel like this is somebody that might have been a friend from the past. Um, they're showing me this actor, and I don't know if it's like personality wise, he's like sort of somebody you wouldn't necessarily have ever been attracted to, but he ends up being just this really like calm in the storm kind of feeling. And he's an anchor for you. I can't think of this actor's name. I can see him very clearly though. I'll have to think about what his name is. Maybe I'll Google it, and like I can email you guys through your PayPals or whatever. Maybe I'll Google it and email you who I keep seeing. But all good things for you. No, it's not Jim Carrey though. I really do love him. What's funny is I love people more when you get to see a little bit more of their personality. I love his artwork. Um, he's just like he's fantastic. I love his artwork. I also think Keanu Reeves, like there's just that gentleness and that calmness. Whenever you see like he's just so like has all these Zen quotes. I just like them. No, it's an older gentleman, and I cannot even think of what he's been in. I feel like he was more popular in the 80s and 90s, 80s, maybe early 90s, and in TV shows and things. Um, all right. Kay, I'll check you out in just a second. So that was Sandra. Is Cindy here? I hope she didn't forget. I'm looking for Cindy or Starry Sky. Patricia. I've got a list going, so I kind of ask in order of who paid in what order. I just want to make sure I didn't miss. Sorry. At the zoo again today, at the Bronx Zoo again today. We were there last week. We met up with some friends. And my 3-year-old apparently has a crush on my husband's friend. When we got back last time, she's like, Mom, why were you talking to John? Because we're friends. I like John. She's really funny. She's and she was like constantly like she would like hug me like, John, I love my mommy. She was just like anything she could do to talk about him. Do you like mermaids? Oh, any messages from spirit? Sure, Starry Skies. So I'm just going to ask you this. Is there still like in your vision? I don't feel like it's a spot, but I feel like it's like actual like little almost like rectangle line across the thing. Like it's this weird like they're like these little rectangles. I don't see spots, but it's almost like in the center of my vision. Does that make sense? Because I keep seeing that as I close my eyes, which is not my normal when I close my eyes. I just feel like I should say, I don't feel like you're going to have any more complications with this eye, but I feel like it's going to take, like that'll go away soon. But again, it feels like a little bit longer than you had hoped. I also feel like don't worry that this is gonna happen. I know that they say, like, if you have more of a chance, like, you have a higher risk of having a retinal detachment in your other eye if you've had it in one eye, and a repeat retinal detachment. I feel like your right eye is not as extremely nearsighted as your left, so it feels like it'll be okay. You shouldn't have that issue. Um, but what's interesting is even with all of this, it's really buoyed your faith up. Your faith and your connection with spirit that there is something bigger. Sorry. So they said we're gonna talk about that, but then we're gonna talk about your teeth. And they said, that even when sometimes, and this is like kind of a message for everybody, is sometimes bad things happen, but it ends up somehow strengthening our faith and strengthening our connection with spirit. So it's not always like again, it's your perception, right? So it's like it's not always about, like, why do bad things always happen to me. Sometimes it's about finding the silver lining, and I really feel like for you, Starry Sky, that it's like, even though these things happen, I'm learning to trust that there is a greater connection and there is a greater reason for everything. So I feel like if you don't have an issue right now, this is something to watch. Don't ignore it if your tooth starts bothering you. And it feels like my upper right side, though I feel like there's an old filling that needs to be replaced on my lower right side as well. Um, do you have a cat? I keep seeing a cat with, like, almost like a white face, but has color around it. There's, like, a lot of, like, I see, like, a lot of white, and I feel like I might be a heavier cat and just, like, really soft fur. Not that, like, what cat doesn't have soft fur, right? But it just feels like I'm really, like, I don't know, and I just feel a little bit more stout. I don't know why. Um, Hang on. Okay. I just need to silence this because it's just driving me crazy that someone is texting me. I don't want them to keep texting me. Okay, sorry. Because um, does any of this make sense, Starry Sky? The cat and then the teeth. No, I feel like a cat. Maybe it's a chihuahua. I don't know, but it feels like a cat because it feels the way cat fur does, not the way dog fur does. And it feels like it's reminding of my this cat that we had when I was a kid at my dad's house. Its name was Ziggy. She was a calico, but she was, like, real white on her face and then the color more around her, and she was fat, like, she had that big pendulous belly that would, like, drag on the ground basically, and she would walk. And she had these, like, teeny tiny little paws, like, she's just this round and it's, like, really teeny paws. She's a piggy, maybe that's it. Does she think she's a cat? You know how there's some dogs that think they're cats and some cats that think they're dogs? I don't know. This feels like one in spirit when they're coming through this way. Oh. Did you have a grandmother? I mean, obviously, we all have grandmothers, but I feel like she was actually, like, kinda tinier, and I feel like this might have been dad's mother because they're showing me my father's mother. Um, And I feel like she wouldn't have been very accepting of you, and who you love. And I feel like she's kind of coming through regretful, like she didn't understand. I feel like she would have been leaned more towards the religious side, being, I don't want to say devout Christian, but I just feel like really uh, uh, biblically led in her life and thinking that things had to be this way. And maybe wasn't as accepting or making you feel like she was a safe place and would have been like you would have been loved and accepted by her. And I just feel like it's this feeling of regret and remorse that you ever felt that way. Does that make sense? Your white cat. You have a white cat? And she came through almost very sheepishly, like on the coattails of the cat. Yeah. Does that match her? Well, she's coming in to say she's sorry. And I feel like that's a really big pill for her to swallow to do that. Like very ego, pride driven during life. So I'm going to leave you with that. Cindy Bauer, if you're still here, Patricia, Mallory, you guys are up. Okay, Patricia, I wanted to know an update when I am moving to Vancouver from Ottawa. Hello, Canadian. When are you moving to Vancouver? I keep getting sooner than you think, and like everything just like happening like that. Like once it goes through, it's like this. So, and it feels soon. So I feel like no later than January, February. Does that, I don't know if I told you a time frame before, but it feels very soon. It doesn't feel like, and it feels like, um, sometimes we just have to get out, right? Um, you're very welcome, Starry Sky. It feels very soon. So it feels like once I make the decision, it like everything just happens rapidly. November, December. Yeah. So no later than that. So maybe it's that like you get all the information and start um uh moving it, but it's very quick. So I'd say like no later than January because it felt like right after the first of the year. So I don't know if maybe it's like you start the process in November, December, but it happens very rapidly once it's done. So maybe it starts in December and you're moved in by the end of January or the beginning of January. Um, you'll have money. So the feeling is that you also have a very funny relationship with money. So remember when we're manifesting money, right? We can't think like I need, I have, I want, or I need, I want kind of thing. It's I have it. And like when you pay your bills, even when you like, because you're like, oh God, more money going out, instead of like being like panicked about it, be like, I'm so excited I get to pay my bills. And that sounds crazy, but if you create a healthier relationship with money, it's just an energy exchange, right? So you're just looking, and it's just uh, um, a valuation of energy exchange. So if you look at it and you constantly hear the mantras for building money, money easily flows in my direction. I have a really good relationship with money. I enjoy being able to pay my bills. I easily pay my bills. My bank account, just the numbers keep going up. Um, no, the universe didn't cut it off. There's some when you say that the universe cut the money off, universe cuts the money off. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen a million times with people. In fact, when I start, I always decide, tell the universe like when I want clients and when I don't. And I always think when there's a lull in the number of clients I have, it's sort of because I've decided I want a lull. And the minute I start thinking, okay, I'm ready for more clients, let's go, they start contacting me. It's works really well that way. Um, I'm telling this story because I think it's really pertinent. A reverend that I really like and respect, we were talking one day before a service, and she's like, God, I had so many clients. It was like crazy. I was like, I could barely like keep up with how many clients I had. And that's her full-time job, is doing readings. And I was like, and she goes, and now all of a sudden it's dead. And I was like, well, you were saying you were too busy. You had too many clients. I said, so the universe listened. They gave you the break you were asking for. So you be careful about how you think about and attract those things. So if you go, oh no, the money's not here, the universe cut it off, well then yes, that's what will happen. So the idea of like manifestation is sort of like, in the Bible they say like have faith with like have childlike faith. Well, a kid doesn't like, you talk to my daughter, my 3-year-old's like, I can't wait. When I grow up, I want to be a mermaid. I'm going to have a tail. And like, she doesn't think about this isn't logical in the 3D world. This doesn't make any sense. She just goes with it. And that's sort of what manifesting is. So you kind of have to keep your manifestations to yourself, keep them in your tiny little bubble and like not share them with anybody, because you don't want anybody to trickle in and feed their self-doubt and their inability to see what's possible in the world into your bubble of all things possible, right? And the Bible says too, like, again, I'm not like a biblical person, but it's just an easy way to go to it, right? With God, in God, all things are possible. Through God, all things are possible. It's just, if you believe it, it's possible. So it doesn't mean that it always manifests immediately, but it will. I do feel like you're going to get a chunk at the end of November, and it's sort of like you have to start small, right? So if you find a penny, pick it up. All day long, you'll have good luck. So if you start believing the universe sends me money in all kinds of ways, it comes to me in all directions. And then like when you see a quarter, don't go, oh, that's all. That's the universe giving you a little bit. Just enjoy it and say thank you. Um, recognize all the small ways in which things manifest towards you, and then it makes the flow of the energy easier for you. Do it in other ways. Manifest a free cup of coffee. Someone gave me a free cup of coffee today. It was amazing. Like I didn't even have to, like, it just came to me. Do it in other ways. Like do it, like if you want to see how manifesting works, someone complimented me on my eyes today. That's really easy when everybody's wearing masks, right? Like it works, but it also works. The reason why I figured out what manifesting wasn't because I read The Secret anyway. I had this like random thought in my head one day. I was going to work at Texas Children's Hospital. It's like we show up for our I think the shift change was at 6:45. First, you got to be there and ready for shift report by 6:45. And I decided that like I spilled my cup of coffee or something, was like in the parking garage. And I thought, I wonder if I could see if I can have the worst day ever, if I can make myself have a bad day by like focusing on this, focusing my energy on what a terrible thing is. Normally I'm kind of like, whatever, I spilled a cup of coffee, I'll get another one. And I did. I ended up like manifesting this terrible day because it's a mindset thing, right? So that's sort of my thing, is I just feel like the money's coming. You just really need to eke your way out of this manifesting rut by starting with something small and changing your mantras. You literally have to reprogram your brain and your connection with money. So it's money flows easily to me, and even if it doesn't make sense right away, right? I'm so grateful that I can pay for things. I'm so grateful that I'm happy when I pay for my bills. I'm excited that they come in because I know I can pay them easily. Like you have to change it, instead of being like, ugh, another bill. It's like, oh yeah, I can pay this month. It's just shifting that it's easy to do things. I know it sounds nuts, but the other thing is manifesting the job you want. People love to hire me. Like I'm a great interviewer and I really impress people. And people love to hire me, and they offer me more than I would ever have asked for. So instead of sooner than later, it's just like, or you could even say like, the move happened really quickly. I got a job. I got the apartment that I wanted, the perfect apartment, the perfect price range. Um, I'm like trying to think of all the other things. The move went smoothly and easily. I was able to move my stuff without an issue. Um, I don't know if you're using movers or if you're renting a U-Haul, however you do it, whatever it is, you can manifest that being less expensive or easier than you imagined. Imagine yourself coming on here and saying, Anna, the money came in. I was so excited. Just as you said, it went really quickly and easily. Those are all ways of manifesting too. And don't worry about all the details in between. Just see the end of it. Mallory, Cindy, Devry, you're up. Movers. Yeah. Once I figured out movers in my life, I was like, this is the best investment ever because moving on your own sucks. Like big time. Once I figured that was a really good investment, I was like, I'm all over movers. I think the first time I used movers on my own was after college when I moved from Austin to Houston, or like after I had worked for a couple of years as a nurse, because I started out in Austin and I moved to Houston because there's better paying jobs in Houston for nurses. Devry, will I get the two jobs next? Nicole, I'll check all of these and see who else is added to the list, okay? At 8:59. Okay, perfect. All right, so Devry, will I get the two? So they said, yeah, you will, and a third one shortly to follow. So I don't know if one of the two is like sort of a short-term thing or a part-time thing, or if the third one that comes in is like a better offer and sort of like, then it means you don't need the two. But I heard, yes, you will, and a third one shortly thereafter. Yeah, next week, I feel like right away it's coming. Is your stomach been bothering you, Devry? I bet, yeah, I just felt real nauseous, like, ugh. It just feels like, maybe ate something that's a little too fatty or like oily is the feeling I get. Like there's some oil that's irritating you. Okay, Mallory. Oh, Devry, work on drinking a little bit more water too, and then also grounding. So one easy way to do grounding is, well, you can walk outside and put your feet in the grass if it's warm enough where you're at. The other thing is to visualize roots from a tree coming up and wrapping around your feet, and kind of imagining that they're holding you to the earth. Okay, Mallory, I'm gonna do yours in just a second. Let me just double check the PayPal. Because my phone is buzzing, so my watch is buzzing. Hello, Dan. Okay, so let's add, and then we're going to cut it off, I think, because I think that leaves us. A lot of other people have jumped on here. Well, okay, so I'm still going to name your channel, Dan, because that's just the way I am. So after Christy is Danielle, Kayla, hang on. Graceful Empress. And I'm sorry I'm not checking the notes right now. Nicole Plant, Emily, and I'll try and okay. All right, so now so Dan's channel, if you want to check out another spiritual channel, is Spiritually OTC, Spiritually Out of the Closet. And it's here on YouTube, so you should look for it. And he has a really nice energy, so I think you'll like him. All right, Mallory. Whose birthday is this week, Mallory? Because it felt like I heard another trip around the sun. Or what's the anniversary that's this week? I also feel like you need to get out of your house a little bit. I feel like I've been cooped up, or I'm really like I'm starting to isolate a little bit. And I know with the pandemic we need to do that, but I feel like you need to get outside and go for a walk or just get some fresh air. Um, there's something this week, so it might be that it comes up. They said a trip around the sun, so maybe it's a friend's birthday or something that you're not. I don't know what this is, but it feels like something comes up this week. But I also feel like I always hate saying this to someone who's just lost their dog, but I feel like this is gonna sound weird, but Tony, I feel like Tony would say to you, like if he was there, because this is the feeling I get, is like, go start looking. Like go to the shelters and just start looking. I feel like there's one at the shelter waiting for you. Um, I know it's like the feeling like he would say, like, I know you say it's too early, but it might just be good for you just to go look and see. Um, is that the worst ever? I know. I'm sorry, but that's like what I keep getting. Like sometimes we want to grieve and stay in our grieving stage and like, but I just keep getting this nudge that you're supposed to start looking for another puppy. Allie, KK, Sherry, you guys are up. I'm just waiting for kind of a response here to see. Mallory, are you here? I know it feels way too soon, but it's just this feeling that there's like he would say it, like he feels like he's saying this to me to say to you, like, just go look, just go look. Um, I mean, I get it. Like, listen, when my dad they would put down a dog or they would, whatever, like he was out like the next day looking for another one. I still have never gotten another dog. And my dog, I had to put her down like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. But I also have 3 little kids and like I refuse to potty train more than one thing at a time. Um, call me practical. It's that feeling of like, just go look. And I don't know if it's that necessarily you're going to get one, but it feels like there's something healing and going. Um, and it's also just about getting you out and sort of like, there's something healing about about being around animals. I just feel like you need to get out of the house. You need to get out of the house is the biggest thing. Like sometimes our spiritual messages are just like, do the little things in life to kind of serve our healing and serve just like the smallest part of us. I also feel like you need to do some meditations because I feel like I am not, and not like crazy long, hour-long meditations, but, like, literally making sure that you're breathing, you're sitting and taking a deep breaths and relaxing, and God, you gotta get out of the house because I feel like I need to open the windows and sage, and I don't know if it's too cold where you're at right now, but just feels like really needing to get out of the house. Ali says, "Is Alex my future husband? Should I go through the thyroid surgery? I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. Thank you." Um, First of all, I can't say, like, when you say, "Should I?" Um, I can't tell you, "Should you do something?" And I won't with anything at all because that's, like, imparting my will on you. Is it a partial thyroidectomy? Because I don't feel like it's a full one. And does it push on, yeah, does it just pushes on, like, part of the side of my thing. Um, so I feel like, and again, I'm not a doctor, right? So, I do feel like you have a good surgeon. I do feel like you've, like, done your research. Um, and I feel like it will go well. Um, if you have it and you choose to have it, I feel like it will go well. Uh, and it feels like it should fix what's going on. Like, I don't feel like, you've been getting a lot of dizziness with whatever. I don't know if it's like a thyroid storm or what's going on, but I just feel like a real dizziness. And like, it's very interesting because it's like, it's almost the way Kundalini energy feels like going straight up through my body because it also has, yeah. Um, are they also doing, like testing the lymph nodes around here? Because I feel like it might be in two of the lymph nodes. Okay. So I feel like the healing time is gonna be a little longer than anticipated, like maybe taking about 2 to 3 months to get back to normal. Um, I don't know if they have to do chemo or just radiation. I'm leaning towards it being more just radiation. And they're showing me swallowing a pill. Is there a pill you have to take? What's wow. Yeah, just radiation, okay. They're showing me, like, a pill you have to take, so I don't know if it's, like, a long-term pill or what. Maybe it's, oh, no, that wouldn't be right. I don't know what it's for, if, like, it's weird because it's, like, I don't know, maybe it's an iodine pill? I don't know, like, I keep getting towards, like, I don't know why, but, I feel like you'll be okay, and this'll be, like, it'll be a long-term maintenance thing, it's not gonna be something that's, like, but I feel like this will at least take care of it. Um, I think my mother-in-law had to have a thyroidectomy, um, and it took her, like, a long time to figure out, like, for them to figure out all of this stuff that was going on with her. I know she had a lot of weird things, but, I feel like it'll be okay, like, if you do it. I don't feel like, and again, like, I'm not a doctor, right? And you've gone to all the doctors, you've done the research. I feel like you've Do you get like red flushing? Like, I just feel like my chest really red and blotchy. Right. Okay. So these are just all validations then that like, so she said, yes, that's right now. So these are all just validations that what I'm getting is from spirit. These are things that you're supposed to be doing, that you're on the right path. You're following the journey you're supposed to be doing. Always in these cases, like I think that there's things you could do on a spiritual sense, right? So if you're having, I actually had another client when I was doing a private reading. I was like, oh boy, like pick this up. And she was like, it ended up being cancer. But I said, I feel like I didn't know it was, but it just felt really like, and I should say I couldn't confirm it was, and I would never tell someone you have cancer, right? But I said that you really should follow along with what the doctors are doing. However, on the other side of that, what you can do energetically and spiritually is, so it's all also doing the Western medicine, but then on energetically and spiritually doing some thyroid clearing and some releasement. A lot of this stuff when it happens here is blocked throat chakra, right? So and most of it happens to be with our expressive communication and with our ability to set boundaries and be our own advocates. So I would work on figuring out what areas of my life do I have difficulty speaking up for myself, and then look back at your life. Why do I have those difficulties speaking up for myself? Who told me that I wasn't allowed to speak up for myself? What belief systems was I taught over and over and over that I should stay quiet, that I should yield to others' happiness and put others' happiness above mine? These are ways to work on clearing your chakra, and also, of course, doing throat chakra clearing meditations, which you can find a million on YouTube or Spotify, whatever other platform. So, look, there are no studies that can validate this, but I can tell you when I've seen it through all of the people I've ever read for, loved ones, when they have blocks, when we have blocks, energetic blocks in certain chakras, they end up manifesting, the dis-ease ends up manifesting as disease eventually. And so like our heart chakra, when we have a hard time letting love in and or expressing love and loving others, or loving ourselves, it will manifest in the heart, the breast, or the lungs. Perfect. Those are all things that you should be doing. So I think that that's great. So I'm going to move on, if that's okay, Allie. And we have, let's see, KK, Sherry, and Highway 138. General reading for KK. Oh, what's your second question, Allie? Sorry, dear. Oh, is Alex your future husband? This is what I think is funny. You have this major health issue going on, and you're like, I'm gonna marry this guy. Sorry. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I started. Yes, you will, but it might not be this Alex. So I do feel like your husband will be named Alex, but I'm not sure if it's this Alex. Are you a bit of a smartass? Because your guys are like, we're just fucking with her. Are you dating an Alex right now? Is that like who is Alex your boyfriend, your current boyfriend? And I know this sounds weird, but it's like so they're kind of going like, we're fucking with her a little bit, because again, it's like you should be really focusing on this healing thing. And they're kind of like, is it this Alex or is it another Alex? I do feel like you'll marry an Alex, which is really weird, but I'm like, I don't know if it's so. Are you dating an Alex currently? No. Okay. I don't know if it's this Alex you're talking about. It might be another one then. So here's the thing, I feel like in about 6 months' time is when you'll have your next big relationship, but they're really encouraging you and stressing for you to work on these issues now, not just in the physical sense, like, obviously go to the doctor and all that stuff, but the communication issues because it will benefit you in your relationships in the long run to really work on this. They're not being specific, and sometimes they're not being specific because it's not something you're supposed to focus on right now. And maybe it is pharmacy Alex, or maybe it's an Alex you don't even know yet. Sorry. Is your left knee bothering you? Listen, our guides are like us, so if you're a smart aleck, then they're kind of the same way. Watch your left knee, that's all I'm gonna say. I also feel like, gosh, in your throat, it just feels like it's, like, swollen, like pushing. Um, KK, they said, I do workouts. Okay. Might not hurt it. It feels like something that might require just a little bit of rest and, just make sure you're stretching, because it feels like the way they're putting it to make me feel like is like when I would get it when I wasn't stretching enough, and it would feel like a knife under my patella, which is your kneecap. Um, KK, are you wanting to know about love but are too embarrassed to say it? Because that's, like, kinda what I got. It feels like it's coming sooner than you would expect, and I actually feel like it's kinda, like, out of nowhere. I literally feel like I'm not even putting myself out there. Oh, they're like, she doesn't even wanna ask about it, like, I feel silly about it, but, I keep getting 6, so I don't know if it's 6 months. Yeah, it's 6 months. So I feel like within the next 6 months or so, but it even still feels like it's out of nowhere. Yeah, that's what they're saying, like, I literally don't even feel like I'm really putting myself out there, but it's, like, out of nowhere, it sort of kinda comes walking in, and it'll be a nice surprise. And they're like, "Otherwise, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're doing fine." Sherry wanted to know something about Sherry, Highway 138 and Lauren, you guys are up. You're welcome. Sherry, Highway 138 and Lauren. I think some of you wrote these up here, so I might be able to dig them out. Um, Highway 138. Okay. I was wondering if you could see where my daughter and son-in-law will be stationed next in the military. Would love to see the grandkids more. I immediately got Hawaii. Um, does that make any sense for them to be in Hawaii? I mean, I know there's naval stuff there. Oh, Lauren. Yeah. Let me double check. Hang on, Laura, let me just double check with what's on there. Sherry, I feel like they are going to build a new subdivision behind you. That's fine, Laura. Let me just double check. I just have to look at what my PayPal thing says. I might have just been saying it wrong, and I'm totally. Laura, I don't have you on here. I have a Lauren Davis, Lauren Jane, but I don't have a Laura. Are you sure? Double check with your thing. Are you sure that did you click on the link, or it should have been for my Schwartz is my last name. You got Hawaii too? Highway 138? Okay, so maybe that's where it is. I don't feel like it's necessarily, I feel like they're smaller homes. I don't feel like they're really big homes. But I do feel like they'll build behind you. From your PayPal? Just check and see if that it went to Annalisa MSF and not somewhere else. I'm in your PayPal. Which, are you sure you sent it to, look and see if it says Annalisa Schwartz, Annalisa MSF. The email address with it is not my spiritual friend. It's a different one. It's a long story why it's different, but it's a different one. Okay. Lauren Jane, should you quit your job? So they said, they go, don't quit your day job yet, but within a year you should be able to. So it feels like within a year from now, you should feel comfortable enough. So it's not that I don't think you could, I feel like you could eke by doing it, but I feel like you would be more comfortable. Like I would have enough saved up and feel like, okay, I'm like where I need to be in a year. Leon Swags, Christy, and Danielle. You're welcome, Lauren Jane. What's interesting, Lauren Jane, I don't feel like you should be changing direction or anything. Because I was like, should she change direction or is she gonna? It's like, no, she just needs to keep doing what she's doing. It's more about like you really feeling like you're at a spot where you can do this. Will my party business be financially successful, and how long will it take me to get there? I feel like it's going to be about 2 to 3 years before you're kind of built up and where you want to be. It will be successful. It just feels like it takes you a little longer than you're, visualizing in your head. It's also about the connections that you need to make along the way. 'Cause I do feel like you'll be able to advertise and stuff, but I feel like a lot of your big gets are gonna be through word of mouth. You don't think it went? Okay, if you wanna try and put one in now, you can do that. Do the link that KK gave you above. You're welcome, Danielle. Do the link that KK gave you above, okay? Leon Christie. Okay, I'll double check. Nope, the last one I have in here is Dan's. So Christy H and Leon Swags, you're up. Christy H, just looking for some spiritual guidance and direction and navigating the new chapter of my life. Yeah. Oh. Okay. So they said it wasn't meant to be easy or quick when you leave the relationship that you're in, that they're saying that's just, even though that's the biggest step, it's still the beginning step to healing for why you were in that relationship and why you uh that's not the only relationship in your life that's similar to that. So you might have, or you do have, um, ways of allowing others to, or putting others' needs before yours, and feeling like, allowing people to make you feel like you don't have a right to have your boundaries. So it's sort of, they're saying now the big step why feelings are disoriented is because you haven't really done the healing work that it's going to take to move you forward. Um, do you drink wine? Because I feel like drinking a lot of wine. Leon, you can write your question and I'll answer yours, okay? Christy, does the wine thing make sense? Because I got a lot of taste of wine in my throat. Yeah, Emily, I did get your second payment. Laura, I didn't get it. So I don't know if you want to put one through to the link that's above. You're welcome. So Christy, does that make sense, the wine thing? And it's not like I feel like you're an alcoholic, but I feel like no wine. I don't know why. It just feels like like the way, maybe it's alcohol. I don't know what it is, but I just felt like wine. Um, do you ever drink something out of a wine glass? I can hear the way it, like a wine glass sounds, where it's like it's got a different sound than a tumbler when you set it down on a counter. It's weird the way they show me things, guys, sometimes. I don't know what this is. Do you ever drink out of a wine glass, but drink something else even when you're with your friends? Maybe it's a like a martini? I don't really drink, so mostly because I like my sleep and I don't get enough of it, and it really affects my sleep. Okay, Laura, I got yours. You're last on the list, okay? Then it's officially closed because it's late. Um, so it just feels like the big part is like the reason why it feels so disorienting is like you're really just in the beginning stages of all the healing and letting go, and moving forward. And it doesn't feel like they're not showing me like making any other big changes or any other big moves because it feels like this is really enough right now to kind of like go through and get like used to being by yourself and doing the things by yourself. I don't see like a new relationship coming in for a little while. Um, like I feel like maybe not even really ready to start dating him for another 6 to 7 months. And a lot of that has to do with like just kind of going through the healing process and learning to trust yourself and your judgment again when it comes to partners. You've been drinking other drinks, martinis maybe. 'Cause martinis, you would have like that same kind of glass tall with the stem because it's just like the way it sets down on the counter. Leon, you and your ex get back together, stable and committed. Um, I can say I feel like you'll get back together, but I don't know about the stable part because I still feel like going back and forth and back and forth. And it's like you both are very hard-headed and very strong-willed. And it's like this like struggle for power control, like um Christy, I actually feel like you might sorry, Leon. Christy, feel like you might actually end up taking like a 6-month hiatus from alcohol. I'll leave it at that. Um, um, but Leon, I feel like this struggle back and forth and this struggle back and forth, like I feel like you'll get back together, but it just feels like never quite being able to see eye to eye. I feel like there's another woman that's gonna come in. Like another person who it's where it's like just once I finally make the decision to be done, it's like just right there. And it's easy. And like, how did I not see this? Look, I will never say, like, you could try all you want. And I am happy for you to prove me wrong and be like, Anna, you told me that we weren't going to get back together and na boo boo. I'm super happy for people to come and tell me those things because I want everybody to have exactly what they want to have in life. I am all for that. I don't feel that that's going to happen. I wish I could make them tell me like wedding bells and cannons going off and everything's beautiful, but I just don't feel. Stephanie, the list is closed. I want to go to bed tonight. Um, you're welcome, Christy. So, Leanne, I really wish I could say like I see it totally working out and being fantastic and great, but I just don't. I feel like it's a mismatch made in heaven. So, like you were meant to get together to learn and to grow through this relationship, but that it's not the one that will end up being there, because actually what I feel like is going to happen is you're going to do some healing and growth and move beyond it, and this other person just isn't quite there yet. Stephanie, I'll leave you on this one time. Kayla, Graceful Empress, Nicole Plant. And Leon, I'm going to leave you with that, okay? I don't know that it's really about you helping somebody else grow. It's just like that's where she's at. Like, I just feel like I actually feel like you're more spiritual than she is. And so it sort of becomes like she can't see the big picture, and like you vibrationally are over here and she's kind of vibrational down there. And it doesn't mean that one's better than the other. It's just that like you're not meeting the same, right? So it's like you're playing over here on FM and she's over on AM. You're just not in the same vibration. Kay says, when will my clairvoyant gift fully open up? I'm a medium opening back up my gifts, and I'm ready to start seeing and hearing spirit and want to see golden. Oh, okay. So it's not something I feel like that's honestly going to just like be bam and open like that. Because I actually even feel like you're opening back up in a different way than you did before. Like I feel like you're getting information totally differently than you used to. Does it sound weird if I say that it sounds like seems like there's interference? Like they're calling it interference. So it's like where I'm, how do I explain this in my head the way that's going? I'm here and I'm working, trying to do the clairvoyance, cognizance, and like I'm getting feedback over here in my clairaudience. Like it's who Venmo'd me. Okay. Does that make sense when I'm saying it that way? Like, is that, or do you want me to try and explain it differently when I'm talking about interference? Like it's crossing, like I'm trying to connect in one way and I'm getting all of this like noise or feedback. It sounds like high pitched, like I can't, like it's not quite. When I used to get stuff clairaudiently, when it wasn't clear, it was like, okay, it would sound like, and like almost like all these people were trying to talk at once and like not, never making anything clear. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So it feels like I'm trying to open up here and I'm more clear here than I am here. I don't know that you'll actually all open up all the way clairaudiently in the way that you're expecting. So it actually feels like you're like expecting to actually like hear it as a voice outside of your head. And they're sort of like, you're sort of already getting it. You just need to ask them to slow it down. And it feels more about really, first of all, I keep getting 6 months being significant. So I feel like in 6 months time, you're going to have like a pop where it kind of like opens up a little bit more, but you're not going to fully open up for like 2 years, which sounds terrible, but it's not like that. You're not opening up until then. It's just going to be this slow build to be that where you're finally like in 2 years from now, where you're like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be at. But I feel like really doing as many readings as you can, like for as many people as you can, or doing as much where you're asking them for information where you can validate it, and like doing the practice is really important for you right now. But I feel like you're the strongest in clairvoyance over clairaudience. Hi, Tiara. No, Tiara, the list is closed for tonight. So I feel like it's going to take you a little bit longer, and it's more so Learning to listen to the subtleties now and also, like, regaining confidence and trust in it. And also know that it's gonna be different because your filter is different now, like, as you've gone through life experiences and, um, kind of grown in that way, so too does your gift grow. Don't be disappointed though. Like, listen, I've told people ask me all the time, like, well, how do I do this? Or how do I open up more? And I'm like, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like where I'm at because, a year ago I was at a different place than I am now. 2 years ago, I was at a different place than I am now. Like, it's a continual process. It's not I've hit the pinnacle and I'm done growing. It doesn't work that way. It's continual. 2 years till you feel like I'm at where I want to be, but it doesn't stop at that point, right? So you keep growing. Graceful Empress, Nicole, and Emily. I don't know what kind of pop it is. So sometimes, like for me, I had huge growth spurts when I was pregnant. Each pregnancy, I get this like huge, like where I just would open up and be like, oh. And then, like over this year, I've had a lot of those moments too where I'm like, oh, I can do that now. And it happens where it's like, I recognize it suddenly. So just it opens up and does things in a different way where they like introduce something new here and there where I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that now too. So it's not like I wish I could say like, oh, it's just this ta-da. But it's really more just like an opening up and an understanding that this is possible. And so then it just like sort of it gives you this boost and like confidence and an ability to do something. It's not that you can't necessarily do it now. It's just that the awareness of it happens in about 6 months. You're welcome. You're welcome. Who keeps reporting me to whoever in charge for scaring people in the workplace and playing with a Halloween mask? Someone's an asshole. Sorry. I actually feel like I don't have a name. I wish I could say I have a name, but I do feel like it's a woman. I don't think you're doing this, but are you actually doing this? um, I feel this is so stupid, but I feel like they have you mixed up with somebody else and they're telling somebody the wrong name. Like, they're thinking your name is something or somebody else's name is something. Does that make sense? Like, they're mixing you up with somebody else. And then I will say, just stay away from the Halloween masks. I also feel like it's a little bit about like somebody going, like a customer going and complaining and saying it's somebody, and they're mixing you up with somebody. You are doing this? This turkey. See, I can be wrong. I don't know. It's a woman. She has a rounder face. Stop doing this. Okay, wait, but can I ask you though, like, why are you annoyed that someone will report you if you're doing it? Like, isn't that sort of like consequence? I do feel like a customer has reported you, but I also feel like there's a woman who you work with that has like a rounder face, rounder cheeks. But there are consequences. Like, what do you expect? I don't know. I don't get a name at all. And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus through spirit. But I see a rounder face and brown hair, more olive colored skin. Can't believe you would do these things, Nicole. Shame. Shame. I'm kidding. Yes, the guys are keeping people safe. Listen, man, we all gotta answer to our own stuff. See, I can be wrong. I guess I thought better of you. I'm so disappointed, Nicole. I'm kidding. Uh, oh, I guess it could be worse things in life, right? Okay. Graceful Empress. Emily, hang on. Emily, you have one too. Graceful Empress, are you still here? Did you type a question? There you are. What do you pick up from men in my love life in the future? Thank you for the silly question tonight, Nicole. So this is really, were you boy crazy when you were little? Because I just felt like, then I also felt like this, like I felt like boy crazy when I was little or whatever, but I feel like this dizzying amount of men coming in, like, because I felt dizzy and they're like a dizzying array of men coming in. So it feels like, don't take this the wrong way when I say like revolving doors, but I feel like I'm going to be going on a lot of first dates. Um, like I feel like I'm having fun doing it because but I haven't like I'm gonna enjoy it, but I haven't really met the one that I'm kind of like feeling that connection with. And I feel like it's as if I'm going through a dating app for doing this, but then I meet somebody that's like totally outside of that where I'm either at a party or something with a mutual friend and or coworkers or something, and I meet somebody and we just start talking and talking about like kind of like the pitfalls of dating on apps and online. Um, Maybe you won't be having a boyfriend much longer because I don't feel you in a relationship. It felt like revolving, dizzying door. I can be wrong. Look at with Nicole. Totally wrong. I had full belief that she wouldn't do that thing. Ugh. Let me know which Halloween department I shouldn't be going to. I do. So I felt like again, it felt like a revolve. Like I felt like going on a lot of first dates. Unless you guys like running around in a revolving door for fun, but I felt like going on a lot of first dates. I can be wrong, okay? So, this is never 100% thing. Sometimes I get things in a weird way, but that's just what they're showing me. And then meeting someone new, unless you guys met, this is how your meet story. What's your boyfriend's name? I had a friend growing up. His name was Russell. We would always joke around and call him Russell the Love Muscle. um, oh, I keep getting he's like your safe guy. Like, do you feel like you're settling with him? Like, I just wanna be in a relationship, so I stay with him? just feels safe to me. Like, not like in a, like, just like settling kind of way, not in a, God, I hate saying these things, sorry. But like in the way, oh, my stupid dryer. Um, can you answer? You love him a lot. You can love somebody a lot, but not be in love with them. Does that make sense when I say that? Listen, I don't wanna make you question your relationship, so it's not like I feel like he's a bad guy, it just feels like somehow I'm settling, like, I don't know any other way to say it. Um, like, I know he'd be a good provider and a good father and this and that, but I just feel like it's not, the spark thing isn't there. It's not that it's positive or negative, it's just, again, I said felt like this, I didn't feel like you were in a relationship, and I felt like they showed me, like, when I was like, "Why do I feel dizzy?" And they said, like, a revolving door of men, like, I felt like coming in, so to me, that means coming in and having a lot of first dates. And not like I'm sleeping with all of those men, just having a lot of first dates, they're coming in and out. I'm just gonna put it to you this way, if you felt secure in your relationship and, like, everything was going great, you wouldn't be coming here and asking this question. That could be it, but oh, well, what did the other psychics say? And why are you asking so many of us? Look, if your heart tells you you love him, don't ask psychics. I can even give you your money back if you want. Don't ask psychics. Trust your gut. But there's something, and some, don't apologize. Don't apologize at all. You have nothing to apologize for. Um, you trust your intuition, right? So if it feels right and it feels good, you don't need to ask anybody else about it. My question to you, and this is like, just, if it doesn't feel right, if it felt right and everything felt perfect, you really wouldn't be asking psychics. If you trusted the way the relationship was and you felt secure in it. So to me, I'm trusting what my guides are saying when they're showing me that coming up for you. And when you say his name and I sort of feel into the energy, that's what I'm feeling. Not like he's a bad guy or it's a terrible relationship. It just feels like I'm settling. It feels like it's not all that it could be or that the potential is to be there. If somebody else told you you're going to get married, that's the timeline they saw. Maybe this is what I'm seeing. I don't know what to tell you. Do not apologize, though. You have nothing to be sorry for. What are you thinking? And even if you want to tell me to go F myself, you can. It's okay. I'll understand. Sometimes we got to get that shit out too. She made you question your feelings too. Am I doing the same? So look, if you feel like he's your life partner, it's again, it goes back to the like, if you really felt that way, you wouldn't be asking psychics about it. It would just be a knowing that this is like how it is. Um, I don't want to make you feel bad about it. I feel like you should really trust your own intuition and your own instincts. If you feel like he's your life partner, then he's your life partner. Um, you don't have to look outside of yourself to know the answer. That's just what they're showing me. Again, I will say this, I'm happy to be wrong, and I have been wrong about things. I thought somebody was going to get pregnant, never, ever, ever did. So, in fact, to this day, whenever I see her, she goes, "Remember when you said?" I'm like, "That's cool. I can be wrong. I am not God. I am fallible. I am a human." And I really hope, and I'll say this to you, just like I said to Leon, I hope for your sake that I am wrong, and that Russell is the most wonderful thing that ever walked into your life. I feel like he is a kind human. I feel like he is a good person. I don't feel like he's a terrible match. I don't feel like if you ended up getting married, it would be the worst thing ever. But I do feel like there's something that's not being fulfilled for you. And that it does feel like maybe I'm settling because there's not a possibility of somebody else out there. And I will leave it at that. Emily, I got for your husband, you were asking about messages from his guides for your husband. I really do feel like he needs to watch his diet and watch his blood pressure and cholesterol. I feel like I felt really tight here, like refluxy feeling. And then I felt like this, like need to just watch blood pressure and cholesterol. You're welcome, Graceful Empress. I'm sorry. I know this is like a first time thing for you. So it's like not a fun reading, but I also think maybe it's a lesson to learn to trust your own intuition. And I'm really big on people learning to trust themselves. It's why when I do my private readings, I set the rates where I do, and I don't. I will not do readings very often for people. I told somebody that's on here tonight, and I won't out this person, but that they had just had one a month ago, and I wasn't going to do another one unless they really, really felt like they needed it, like there was some big, massive change, because I really try to encourage people to learn to trust their own intuition. We all have this inner GPS, and I will do everything that I can to help people build their own connection with their intuition and with spirit, so that they can trust it, so that they're not looking all the time for outside validation. Emily, does that make sense for the blood pressure or cholesterol? I just feel like that's something he really needs to watch right now. They said he's a little hard-headed, so he doesn't always listen to advice. And he doesn't really believe in all this woo-woo. Like, he kind of does, but not really. So he's sort of like, he's like half in, half out on it. It's like he wants to believe, but he also doesn't want to feel like you said, I feel crazy saying this, but he wants to believe, but he doesn't want to be kind of seem crazy. You're welcome, Graceful Empress. Okay. So he needs to watch his blood pressure, because I feel like his stress is kind of like, so even if I don't know if it's like worth getting a home monitor to do like a home blood pressure every so often, which I don't even think he would go for, but it might even be something, excuse me, that comes up on his next doctor's appointment. Uh, Dan, are you sure you don't have a question? And then as far as your daughter goes, I don't know exactly, like, I feel like she was a woman in her past life. The most recent, if you wanna think of time being linear, which I really don't think it is, but the closest past life to this one or the closest incarnation to this one, I see this woman being, like, really fast talking, really, like, telling you what to do, how to do things, very, um like, all kinds of attitude. And I keep wanting to leaning towards being like a lawyer or something like that, like great negotiator. Thank you, Dan. Like this, that's what I feel like in that life, like a female, like maybe a female litigator, because it just feels like she doesn't let anybody get an inch. Uh, Laura, and then the last person is Stephanie. So Laura Mitchell and Stephanie Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald. You're welcome, Emily. Can you give me the name of the person? Do you mind, Stephanie? This is weird. Why do I smell banana bread? I literally just got the strongest, like, banana bread. Is there a weird connection with you and banana bread or with him and banana bread? Sorry, it's so weird. And then Laura Mitchell, if you're still here. You were talking about banana bread last night. Okay. Okay. Uh, I think that you have a really good possibility with this relationship. I don't wanna say the one, right? Because I always hate when people say the one, but I feel like this is a really good solid relation will end up being a really good solid relationship. I feel like almost like best friends, like it develops into this really best friend relation, but not like weird, in the friend zone best friend, but just having a really good bond. So, just let him know you're there for him. Just say like, I'm here for you if you need me. I'm not trying to pressure you. This may be how he uh deals with emotional stress and recovery. It might be more personal and more internal. And so that's going to be probably who he is through a relationship, unless he decides to do some healing work. So you really can't make somebody talk to you or feel like they may also not want to be a burden, or they may not know how to talk about what they're feeling, or they may not be comfortable with fully with their feelings. So it's sort of like you have to just let them know that you're there, and you have to accept that it's okay for somebody to like not pour out their heart to you, because that's just not who they are. So it's just saying like, sending them a text, I'm just letting you know I'm thinking about you, or with like, it's like it's something without that doesn't expect a response. It's not a how are you doing? It's because that expect is an expectation of a response. But if you just say, I'm not looking for a response. I'm just letting you know I'm here for you. So that's what people really need. Like, I'm here if you need me. Um, and I'm thinking of you, and that's it. Um, and if and when you're ever ready, you can talk to me, kind of that thing. There's just should be no expectation. Because it really isn't about you. It's really just about him and how he kind of copes with it, that energy. Okay. Just leave it and he'll come to you when he's ready. And just know that it's not about you, and not like, don't go into panic, fear of abandonment mode, which I feel like you might have a little bit of. So like look that up and work on that stuff, because it's not really about, he's not abandoning you, he's not going anywhere, he's just dealing with the stuff. Laura Mitchell. You're welcome, Stephanie. Rough day. Tell everybody else about that, right? 2020, rough year. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm not trying to make light of your rough day. So if that came across insensitive, I really didn't mean it. Do you have a weird connection to the TLC song Waterfalls? Sorry. I don't know what that means, but I just started hearing that in my head. Because it was like, so I was like asking mom, and to just tell you what was in my head, like before that, like how that came to be. So it was like, you really did have a rough day, and it feels like you're sort of getting hit from all directions. And then I literally saw like water pouring in your apartment or house or whatever, just like almost. And then it's like, then I heard the TLC Waterfalls song. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. I know. Why do I know this? Because it was popular when I was in 8th grade. Wait, your husband told you what today? He told you don't go chasing waterfalls? Laura way or no way? Is it wrong of me to say he needs to grow up? Um, Look, the way they're showing me is, and like sometimes I tell people things that they don't necessarily um want to hear. Like, I'm like pretty straight up about things. It does feel like there is a little bit of like on your end being like a little type A, a little like um knowing how things need to be done, so why not just do them that way kind of thing. And having a hard time, almost like an OCD, like anxiety about things when it's not done a specific way. But on the other end of that is having somebody who doesn't understand that there is actually like a psychological like anxiety that goes with that for you. So it's not like not being overly sympathetic to it and like understanding it, like where it just feels like, but not recognizing that it's like, how do I help you with your anxiety and not have that anxiety? My best friend has really bad anxiety and OCD. Like, I giggle at her for it on certain things because she'll be like, she had this jar of candy bars and she had to like undo the whole jar in order to flip this one candy bar so it was in the right direction. And like, look, I did this and it's messy. And I started laughing at her. I go, it's not really though. Like you see how it's organized mess. And I showed her like how they were all, she was like, oh my God. I'm like, it's okay. And like, she'll tell me, I'm like, why, she'll tell me, because I ask her out of curiosity, not out of judgment, like, well, what makes you do this way? And she's like, because if I have a plan, it helps circumvent some of my anxiety. He doesn't get it because he doesn't have it, right? And he's not really trying to understand it. What I would recommend to you, and this is like not the psychic side, this is just somebody who really loves my best friend who has really bad anxiety and like some OCD stuff, is go to therapy and start working through and figuring out where that starts from, because for her it started from the childhood, like and she never ever wanted to talk about her childhood with me, and like now like pieces have kind of come out, and it's like, and I look at her, I'm like, now I get it, like I get why you have that, like, and it completely makes sense where it comes from, and Jesus, like, of course you would have that. So for me, I feel like that if you went and kind of looked at that stuff, it would really help you in all of your relationships, but more importantly, it would help you feel okay here. Like just to feel better. That just sucks to feel that way, right? And therapy isn't about you're crazy, you need help figuring it all out, because like whatever, it's really a gift to you. And you have to be willing to do the work and really look at it and look at the pieces of it and go, like all these things I've told myself in my head for so long, like where I'm a bad person for being OCD. There's something wrong with me for having anxiety. I'm not normal. Well, if you look at those other pieces, maybe you start to be a little more forgiving. Like people will say to me, like, I'd be so freaked out to have what you have. That's like so scary. And I'm like, but it's offered me this gift also of like being able to look at everybody and go, everybody has something. And so it also allows me to be way more forgiving and easy on myself for stuff. It doesn't mean I'm not still hard on myself about some things, but I've learned to like let go and forgive a lot too, and be gentler and kinder to myself because of it. And I think the biggest gift you can give yourself is to be gentler and kinder to yourself. Um, Now I will tell you, like with my friend, her anxiety has like I've noticed a huge change in it. It doesn't mean she's anxiety free or she's trigger free. And again, with my own traumas, it doesn't mean I'm trigger free because I've healed a lot of this stuff. It just means that I recognize it quicker, I circumvent it quicker, and it I'm like don't escalate things the way they need to be. So I don't know if this is really a reading or me just saying like give this gift to yourself and honor it and allow that healing. And I can't say like he's going to get better because I honestly don't know that he'll grow in that sense, like or that he's really willing to look at himself in that sense. But I feel like you will really heal and do better, and then also learn to in your head just be like fuck that noise, like whatever. Yeah, you do. It's funny because I'm seeing the dynamics of a lot of different relationships where it follows that same pattern where you put everybody else first, you put him first, but you also like as a way of like control, you kind of have these other little things. Um, Work on you and some of like they keep showing me like you and your mom's relationship, and really like I don't feel like your parents were together. If they were, it just feels like really not healthy. Um, and I feel like having to take care of mom or having to make sure, like, I don't know if she would have been considered a malignant narcissist, but it's just having to like gauge where mom was at to see where I could be at, and my feelings didn't really ever matter that much. But it's really late, and I've been here a really long time. It's just something to look into. I'm gonna go though. I hope I can leave you with that, because it is really late, and my dear friend KK, um, my moderator KK, I hope that was helpful for you. May not be. Was there something specific you were looking for? Okay. Know that you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be just there's sort of like the message, the big thing is putting yourself first and healing yourself and taking care of yourself, is really, really important. That's sort of like what you need to put your focus in on right now. Okay. So everybody who's still here, have a wonderful night. Tell your friends about me, come back and visit, get a private reading, all of that good stuff. Good luck, Laura. KK, thank you as always. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place.